5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Great, now I feel guilty. I stole his shoes.
Time in a bottle, man. Time in a bottle.
Welcome to Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts, a Simpsons review podcast. I'm your lovable nerd Snerts, aka Joshua Stearns, and joining me is the equally delightful Robin. Don't have a cow. Coward!
Hey, Joshua Stearns, aka Snerts the Gamer. How are you, my friend? In this turbulent world.
I'm doing okay in this turbulent world, enjoying our time going over silly Simpsons things. We've spent already 2 hours just working on the pre-production of Big Cat, so that's fun.
Yeah, but that wasn't really, that was our fault.
Well, yeah, also we always do our little chit chats at the beginning to see how we're doing and everything like that, because that's the secret of podcasting, people. You do it to hang out with your friends. You don't do it for any other reason unless you're successful and it's actually a career that you can bank off of.
Exactly.
How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's a fun time of year. Football just started, which already sucks for Atlanta fans. And I've been having a fun summer. I'm going to see Fish on Wednesday here in Atlanta. And this weekend, my friend who loves to go to electronic shows, there was a couple of DJ sets last night. And there were these big shows. So we went to an amphitheater and we saw this one show. And then we went from there to the other place and saw that late DJ from Japan came in. Fucking absolutely fantastically fun. Summer's been like that and I'm really grateful. But Josh, I kind of got after it at the drum and bass show last night. I woke up this morning. I'm getting old, dude. I woke up this morning. I pinched a nerve in my neck, which would make everybody cringe, and I can't move my head. I can't sit funny, or I'll be like, "Oh God, ooh, oh God." So if I do that during the broadcast, that's why.
I wonder if it'll be less background noise because you have to sit still versus your more animated self that we're all used to. That could be funny.
I like banging on the desk.
Yes, especially when you get passionate about things. That's very fun. Okay, now you're just doing this on purpose. You got any more in you? It's roll of threes. Are you going to do it one more time? Classic. Well, if this is your first episode, here's how it works. One of us will pick an episode of The Simpsons to discuss. We go through the plot, provide very questionable impressions, and point out our favorite bits. This time I picked from season 30, episode 17, My Sports. They're punny. They're so punny. Directed by Rob. Actually, we got Rob and Rob. I think we've had this duo before. Directed by Rob Oliver and written by Rob Lezepnik, with a first air date of 3/17/19. The Rob and Rob joke just seems like I've done that before.
Maybe, but can we go back? My Sports. I don't get it.
It's like Eat My Shorts. Only it's My Sports.
Not following.
See. Bart Simpson has a catchphrase called "Eat My Shorts."
Cowabunga.
Correct. And Michelangelo also has a catchphrase called "Eat My Shorts."
Dudes. Pizza.
It is kind of funny how you look at Michelangelo and you look at Bart Simpson and oh, so that would happen if Bart was infected by ooze, he would become a Ninja Turtle, right?
And had a shell.
And learn nunchucks. So much cool. All right, let's go on to our first segment. Robin has scored the Simpsons Wiki. I've combed the halls of Wikipedia Prime, and with our research combined, we are behind the wiki. Wiki. Waka, 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 wiki.
Wiki.
I never get sick of that Wilhelm scream. I love it so much. Every time it's in a movie or TV show, I'm like, Wilhelm. All right, so this one has actually a pretty decent chunk of information, but it's all just kind of background. So in an interview with The Verge, Riot Games co-head of esports Waylon Razel talked about making the episode as his quote is, as the show is a satirical comedy, we knew they would present their own take. We were heavily involved as consultants. We were comfortable giving the Simpsons team full control, I should say, how they wanted to present esports in the show, given their tradition of excellence. So it seems like they were working together, just like with the Lego movie. But maybe there wasn't like another movie coming out about the same time of like esports, the motion picture.
I didn't really see the concept of esports built out that well in this episode, Josh. Like it's more just kind of a parody. There's not a lot going on. Like, what were they consulting about? Like, they play video games. They're like, oh yeah, we should put that in.
I would assume like the layout and the whole, League of Legends. So I'll just skip ahead. One of the other wiki points is the game Conflict of Enemies. The characters are playing as a parody of the games such as League of Legends or Dota 2. So have you ever played any of these games before?
No.
All right. So it's basically like you have a hero class of some kind and you control maybe an army. Sometimes you don't, but you and like 3 or 4 of your friends try to go to the other side and basically destroy like their crystal, very much like you see in the actual Simpsons episode.
Okay, got it.
So that's where I think the consulting came in. So they're like, that way the guys don't have to come up with stuff at the Simpsons studio. They could just copy paste and add a little simplification to it versus having to come up with their own game from the ground up, so to speak.
It does kind of feel like this consultation could have been an email. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't know how long the confrontation was. It could have been just them hanging out in the studio for an afternoon.
Really, they had a beer. It was like 15 minutes,
We also have the director, Rob Lazepnik, talked about the collaboration, and his quote is, I remember reading that something like 80 million people viewed the 2017 World Championship play-in stage, which was more than the NBA Finals. I also watched the free-to-play documentary, and it all felt ripe for simplification. And then he goes on and we go, how they made it feels like the language and visuals feel authentic, but also to poke a little bit of fun at some of the stereotypes people have about gamers, like when Bart announced GG. I remember saying GG all the time because I used to play World of Warcraft pretty heavily. And, but once you're done with a dungeon or once you're done with a duel or whatever, it's usually customary to say GG and then to piss off and to do whatever else you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the lame-o. I played like Fortnite, and you get to do those dances and the music. I thought as we see in this, are pretty
World
good.
of Warcraft had dances too. Like it was all the time. Like you were saying, I played the Undead Mage, and it would do like the Macarena, I think, or something like that, or some other kind of weird Gothic dance. Maybe it wasn't the Macarena. Maybe it was my memory is getting fuzzy.
Oh, like it gets creative out there. But have you ever watched esports?
No,
I assume you have.
No,
You've never.
I have not, because I don't care.
And you're on podcasts about gaming. You've worked in the industry. You are an avid gamer. But I get it. I'm with you.
One slight change. If I'm really into a fighting game, like for example, Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z, I will watch the Evo tournaments, which is when the highest of the creme de la creme, the pros, are playing the game, because I will never be able to experience that game at that level. I hit a few buttons and Goku does a Kamehameha, and that's about all I get. These people are bouncing all over the screens and doing all these things and like basically killing people in one combo. And I'm like, that's amazing. It's fun to see. So I kind of get that. But here's the thing, like, I'm not really interested in seeing other games like that I don't play that people are competing in, because I'd rather just go play video games.
Absolutely.
All right. Last bit I have for the wiki. When the Simpsons family is in South Korea, there are signs that say BTS here today and BTS Army Recruiting Center in English and Korean, referring to this South Korean boy band. Are you a BTS fan?
No, I have never played it.
Yeah, I just know of them because I've heard of
them. I've never played them.
Gotcha. Well, what did you find in
isn't
Simpsons
BTS
wiki?
a game?
No, BTS is a boy band.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I know of them. Have
see.
you watched the Demon Slayer K-pop thing on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix.
It's so huge.
I don't have Netflix, so no.
Korean seems lovely. Korea seems nice.
Well, at least South.
Yeah. The North is temperate.
Sure.
So the Simpsons wiki really had very little. What they did was just some of the ridiculousness popping up on these now, like we talked about last week, where they just say the most random things. So there's a couple of those that I'll talk about throughout the episode.
Okay, sounds good. There's no chalkboard or couch gag. Like, it's pretty consistent with more of the modern episodes. I was catching up on season 35 on Disney Plus, and I didn't see too many couch gags or chalkboard gags for that matter.
A lot of those intros they're doing with animators like Plimpton and a few other people.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a few seasons ago, wasn't
He's
it?
done many at this
He's
point.
done money at this point. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So it's a rainy day, and Ralph Wiggum is out, and he's doing his best impersonation of a water balloon. Do you want to take it from there?
Because he's in like galoshes and the hat, and it's pouring rain, which is they're why they're inside. But Ralph sticks his mouth on the gutter and he fills up like a water balloon, and it pans away from him. And he's getting bigger and bigger, like Veruca Salt, and then you just hear it pop.
Yep, 100%.
And so the wiki says, trivia: it is raining. Ralph puts his mouth on the gutter and blows up like Veruca Salt. Actually, I wrote that part down. But the wiki said was Ralph Wiggum dies in this episode, but inexplicably comes back in Bart versus Itchy and Scratchy.
I don't know who they're hiring to write this crap.
What the hell?
Have they never seen a cartoon before?
What is going on? They're treating it like you know what I think it is, Josh? I think somebody's having fun.
Oh, okay.
I think somebody's just like, we don't have anything on this, so let's make up some funny shit.
There's like a link that says, please add to this page. And someone's like, sure.
I bet there is. But I think that's hilarious. He dies, but he inexplicably comes back. Like, they have to know that's a joke. So I think they're having fun.
It's like someone who's like documenting everything that happens in Tom and Jerry and be like, well, unfortunately, the mouse isn't going to make it.
But you would think that when the coyote hits the desert floor, he'd be dead.
Right.
But
or spring back like a rubber band,
Right.
So it's a rainy day, so the Simpsons are playing board games. We see Lisa kicking Homer's butt at Risk, Monopoly, Aggravation, and Life.
All at the same time.
Patty and Selma are there along with Maggie and Marge, and everyone is getting along. So is there anything that stood out to you in this bit? Any quotes that you wanted to mention?
Even Selma and Patty are like, Selma's like, Homer's such a good father for playing with his daughter. And so they're not just getting along, like they're all really having a good time and enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, they were also surprised that Homer was such a gracious loser. Like usually he freaks out and he's like, oh, how come I not?
He does say, with you as a daughter, I'm a winner in the game of life. Although I did lose that too, which was a funny line.
Yeah, they all had their little jokes,
Asides,
little comments about the board games that was kind of clever and stuff like that. And then they all figure out that the one missing person is Bart. Homer chimes in. He's like, remember when I said I'd punish Bart after he got his ban from the buffet? Cut to the buffet, and we see what he did.
It's like a soup plantation.
Or a hometown buffet,
Exactly.
Whatever, pick your poison. And they, one of the staples of those kind of buffets is soft serve ice cream.
And so Bart
has a plate that's just
tray.
Piled,
it's the whole
tray full of soft serve ice cream, and then it shows Mel and somebody else. I forget who else is there.
Lenny. It's Lenny. And so they're at the soft serve machine, and somebody has jammed something in the handle so that it's just pouring out. And Mel's like, I can't shut it off. Someone's wedged a seasonal Tuscan focaccia in the lever.
And he's slipping on the ice cream and but holding on to like the lever, trying to put it down. It's a pretty funny moment.
But we both talked about it, like that the way the Tuscan focaccia looks so like funny. A rock solid, granite piece of old bread that's stuck in this machine is the best animation in this episode.
It's been that focaccia that's been out there since they opened.
Right. Put your teeth on that.
So Bart had a very unique punishment that I wish when I fucked up, I wish I got this punishment more, because he got a top of the line gaming computer, and he has it all. The headset, the mouse, keyboard, monitor with black and light green design, and of course the chair. He's also rocking a little starter stash.
Well, but before the stash, he is really engaged in this, and that's Correct. Why he hasn't been with them, is because he's like locked in, and we all know what that is with those crazy gaming kids.
I'm like that. I get locked in. Someone would come in. I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying to beat Halo.
But we got to talk about the stash. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end of the scene when he shaves it off.
So Lisa is basically, I get what happened. You bribed him. And then Homer slips Lisa a $5 and is like, stay out of this. I did not bribe him.
He says, I just addicted him to something that will numb his spirit until he's no longer our responsibility.
And Bart is playing Conflict of Enemies, as we mentioned before, which is like a League of Legends or Dota 2 clone.
He's
With
going,
Millhouse,
kill, die,
yeah.
die.
With Millhouse, Sophie, which is Krusty's daughter, Nelson, and Martin. And it's kind of cool that I think that one, they have a girl on the team, and it's a very
Absolutely.
diverse range from the nerdy to the bully to the poor to the rich.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
like how Nelson's rig is like held together with tape.
Right. Did you catch Bart's name? His
Oh, I
gamer?
forget what his. I remember hearing it, but I didn't
It's
write it down.
General Splatton.
Yeah, that's right. General Splatton coming in. And there's a cute moment with like Nelson and Sophie. It was like, Jinx, buy me a Coke. He's like, I'll never be able to pay that back.
Oh, Nelson.
And they're
Oh,
actually
Nelson.
really good at this game. And Bart shouts out GG, and then he immediately shaves his starter stash.
What is up with the stash? Like, I mean, I get it. They're playing like he's like a little older, which kind of comes up again in this episode. But it is just so random to see Bart with a stash like he's older, but he's not. He's still 10 years old. And in the episode, and he has like this electric razor to shave it off. But like, what were the writers thinking?
I was
'Cause I don't
thinking
know.
that he was playing the game for so long that a starter stash started. You know what I mean? Like he was playing that
What?
one game
Like
so
6
long.
years?
Yeah, right. I know, but they are treating him more like he's like 13 than 10. Absolutely.
100%. I get it.
I also
I get
think
it.
that like it's more of that preteen who gets into video games like
Sure,
this
like
hardcore.
13, 14. Yeah.
I don't think it's really 10-year-olds. I think
Yeah,
they
like
have other.
12, 13. I get you. I know exactly what you mean.
So I think they're because they don't have like an older brother Bort. So they're just going to use Bart and they're just pretend that he's
to
fulfilling
make
the
the joke work.
stereotype. Yeah.
But then somebody thought, like, oh, to make that clear, we're gonna give him a little starter stash. Every time they fall in love, we see them play an older version of themselves, basically,
Potentially, yeah.
throughout the 35 years, and a lot of them where they're going through emotions that aren't right for an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. But they've never had. I don't get it. The stash is just out of left field.
It's so funny that like you got hung up on that because I was like, oh, they're just trying to do like the stereotypical gamer, type of thing.
So weird.
They didn't go the South Park route what they had for the World of Warcraft episode where everyone just gets like becomes a giant bloated fat ass with a bunch of zits on their face. They went with the starter stash.
There you go.
I also like how Nelson likes to defile corpses and then like they're basically like pooping gems onto their enemy and he's like control 6, control 6, control 6. I can relate to that.
No, we know, like, yeah. Do you ever play the online shooters? You don't really play those much.
Yeah, I
do you?
played those a lot. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean Halo 2, Halo 3,
Okay.
that era. Like I don't play them as much anymore, but I was playing the Battlefield 6 beta a couple weekends ago.
Okay.
You and I have played many rounds of Battlefront Star Wars. So
Oh yeah.
So I
You know
also
that's
like
still on Battlefront 2?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I actually
my
had a
God.
resurgence for a while too, which is wild. But I digress. This whole episode does this like weird kind of back and forth showing video games because you can actually couch it in certain language that makes it sound like the worst thing that's ever happened in this world and it's addictive and terrible and it's going to kill our kids. Or you can make it sound like it's something that's going to mold you into a productive adult because you're going to be using teamwork, you're going to be using coordination, you're going to have good communication skills, you're going to be able to diversify the workforce or whatever. Like you can use all these words. Like I remember when I was playing World of Warcraft very heavily, people were saying like, well, if you're managing a guild and you're going on raids, that's almost like owning a small business. So I'm like, sort of like there's organizational skills in there, and of course it's none of those extremes.
There's leadership
It's
skills.
something.
There's
It's,
lots of things. Yeah.
yeah, but there's also, but it's not either or. It's like everything in life, where it's a little bit of everything mushed together into one thing. So yes, it can be very toxic. Yes, it can be very addictive. I know people who play video games when they should be working, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it's also not all bad, and it shows a community and skills and hand-eye coordination and all that other fun stuff.
It's also extremely racist. Oh, I'm just kidding. Sorry, we're not talking about. We're not going to get to the dark parts of it. We already decided not to rant on this because this week has been too much.
Yeah, but this is relating video games. That's a little bit like in
I agree.
vogue
no,
for the episode we're discussing. But what I'm
there's
saying is like
whole,
the reason I bring
yeah.
The reason
Yeah.
I bring all that up is because Homer is using all the positive things to spin to Marge that what he's doing with Bart or letting Bart do is the right thing. And that's what I love about this episode is Homer's a little conniving on this one. Like he's bribing Lisa at the right time, letting her win at board games, or accepting defeat at board games.
Homer's line is also another dig on our society where it says, civilized annihilation. Marge, the boy might just be learning some life skills.
And that's why Homer has a mug that reads Dad greater than Mom. And I love that bit. And Lisa is not having any of this. She is so upset. She's like, "Oh, I want a top of the line gaming machine. Like, what? I'm just going to start acting bad." And Marge and Homer just laugh in her face. They laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and go like, "You can't be
so
bad if you wanted to."
You're like, "That's great, honey. Sure you are."
She's like, "I'm going to go tear up my homework," and she runs into the other room and like pulls out her homework.
Her.
And they're just like, "Yeah, go for it. Go for it, champ." You know,
here I go. She's like, "Here I go," and of course Lisa's like, "Actually, this bibliography could be improved."
And then she goes into her room, and you hear her saying, "Island of the Blue Dolphins, ibit, 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 opt, sit, ibit, 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 ibit."
This is a citation. I had to look this up because it's basically if you're citing somebody multiple times, then you do ibid to reiterate that citation.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, to be honest. As someone who used to have to do citations for my history work, like I was like, that's cute. And of course, Lisa is just like, I can't be bad. All right.
And they also give that joke to like the doctoral students out there, that they get to do this all the time. They're like, that was for me.
The next morning, Marge and Homer are waiting to use the bathroom. So I never understand the Simpsons house in this regard because it seems like sometimes Marge and Homer have a full like half bath at least in their bedroom. But then there's other times where there's only the one in the hallway and there's definitely no bathroom downstairs, I guess, which is just a nightmare.
Well, I mean, again, they do it for the sake of the show. Isn't there an extra room in the Simpsons house that sometimes there's like a game room, kind of a den thing?
Yeah, no, it's the rumpus room where the beanbag chair when 3 Men in a Comic Book, and Homer is sitting in the beanbag chair watching the TV, and we see like the treehouse in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you did a plan of the house, it's not in the plan, so it's just for the sake of the story.
Well, it depends. I've nerded out. I've actually seen some of their plans, and they always include the rumpus room, and there's a little asterisk like barely seen, barely used. But what they really could use is a downstairs bathroom, at least a half bath with a toilet in it, right? Like, come on.
Maybe they're all not working. Maybe Homer clogged the rest of them.
There you go. So we got Marge starting out with Bart's been in the shower for an hour, and then Homer's, well, with a young man that age, there's only one reason he's in the bathroom that long. Skunk sprayed him good.
But the first part of that was very suggestive, of course.
Yes, and then it gets even more suggestive when he opens the door and goes, "Oh my God, he's playing with himself."
On that game.
Was there anything in the wiki about this moment, or you said it didn't air, or what?
Let's talk about the moment first. I mean, obviously, the Simpsons making a masturbation joke it's still one of those taboo things, especially in our little puritanical society, to talk about things like that. But it's kind of a funny joke, but it's out there. Like, it's an interesting little homage in the Simpsons there. But there's a thing in the fucking wiki where they're talking about on the premiere on November 22nd, 2022, Channel 4 cut these 4 scenes. Homer saying, "Oh my God, he's playing with himself," was cut. This is the entirety of the line there that was in the wiki. It didn't air in 2022, this episode. What is Channel 4?
I don't know. Which one?
Right. And it says cut these 4 scenes, and it only has this one line.
It's starting to sound like it was written by a
Simpsons
troll.
That Simpsons wiki's getting out of hand, is what I'm trying to tell you, Josh.
Have you seen Superman yet? The new one?
I did. Yeah.
Do you remember the monkeys that are like hacking online all the time? It was one of those monkeys. That's what happened. It was one of those monkeys.
That was a bit of a jump the shark part of that for me.
I thought it was a reference to James Gunn posting stuff online and getting kind of reamed for it, but back in the day. But anyway, let's not digress any further. This scene, though, goes back to our talking point earlier where it's like, is he 10 or is he 13?
Right.
Is he 10? Skunk sprayed him good. Is he 13? He's playing with himself.
Right.
But he's not masturbating like we were all hoping. Bart is playing with his PC rig and it's completely wrapped in plastic while taking a shower. Marge wants Homer to put a stop to this addictive and constant gaming because I have to say that is a little extreme. I did like
and the image of it, Josh, is great. Like he's got a desk,
right,
covered in plastic. On top is a computer covered in plastic, and then he's sitting on a chair covered in plastic while the shower's going. And he's playing the game.
And he has like a little shower cap on.
And he's clothed, right?
He has shorts on.
Shorts?
He has shorts on, but he doesn't have a shirt on.
Okay.
Homer was about to say, yeah, absolutely, Marge. This is too weird. We're done with this. Until Bart was like, hey, I'm going to make money in this tournament. And the prize is $1,000. And there's a couple funny bits here too, because like once that is announced, Homer drops his towel and a second towel is underneath, but has a baby pin. So like the whole time he's clutching a towel shirtless. And then like once he finds out about the money, he kind of lets it go. And we're like, oh, what's going on? Are we going to get some of that Troy McClure hardcore nudity that he talks about all the time? And he also mentions that like, all right, well, in addition to the $1,000, it's important for team building. And then we cut to the nuclear plant and they're doing trust falls. And like, Mr. Burns is like, all right, everybody fall backwards. And then Lenny, who just happens to be like at the top of some stairs, falls backwards with no Homer there. And he's like cursing Homer as he falls. Like, it's
because
kind
he
of
can't trust him. Yeah, it's funny.
And like most people who are over 40, Homer can't believe that Bart is going to be making money playing games. And so we get this like kind of weird back and forth. But the big
conflict here is that Marge is like, no more. This has to stop. And Bart and Homer's like, yes, it will. And so when Bart's like, but we can make cha-ching dollars, he's like, let's do it.
Yeah, and like, why don't we do the little back and forth that they have here with the first clip?
Please, Dad, can I play in this one last tournament?
Sorry, boy, you're through.
First prize is $1,000.
You get paid to play video games?
$1,000.
They actually pay you?
Yes.
In dollars?
Yes.
To play a video game?
All right, and you think that would be enough? You think that's all they need?
You cut it. You cut that. You cut that.
What are you talking? No. That's all we need. We don't need more.
Yeah.
We don't need more.
Yeah. Let's you and I do the rest of it in our voices. Okay? Ready?
Here we go.
That's right.
They pay you in cash?
Yes.
How much?
$1,000.
All right. Do not tell your mom, but I'm going to say yes. One last tournament.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
Just 1 second. They actually pay you?
Yes.
$1,000 to play video games?
And that last little bit is Homer arriving at the elementary school where the tournament is being held. And
it's like the regional championships.
Yeah, it's like the big sign that says there, we're going to make $1,000 today if you play. And the final match is between the Evergreen Terrors and the Ogdenville Villains. It's a good punny word to see, but it's a hard one to say, especially after a couple beers.
Ogdenville Villains.
All right, well, you say the teams next time. And Bart teams win, and of course Homer takes the credit. He's like, "Hey, they won because I let them do this."
He takes all the credit for 100% of the credit for it.
And all right, and Skinner, this is Chef's Kiss Skinner moment right here.
We do. Here you go. Now, apparently, the Evergreen Terrors have won this thing I don't understand at all, but which gives the school new basketball nets. Now, to hand your prize money over, which is $1,000 cash.
Let it go, Seymour.
I'm telling myself, too, I've never held this much money in my hand all at once. Let me just look at it. This bill, it's $100 bill autographed by Lawrence Summers. Such a carefree signature before the Great Recession.
The way the line was read for Harry Shearer was just I'm telling myself
so
to.
Good.
That made me laugh so hard because it was earnest and he knew that was the right thing to do, but there was something in his body that was preventing him from doing it.
Right. Because the lure of $1,000, it's a play on the joke that Skinner makes peanuts, maybe literally. He has a very tough job.
It's probably peanuts from
of parts,
It's probably peanuts from the cafeteria, which is mostly not peanuts.
Real nuts.
And then Sophie, who's on the team, says that, Dad said we can go to Krusty Burger. And Milhouse is like, oh, cool. Are we going to get discounts? No, He just said we could go. It'll be nice to have some kids in there again after what that monkey did during the birthday party. So, what did the monkey do, Robin? What did the monkey do?
If it's that serious, it's not just like throwing poo around.
No.
Like, I think he probably injured some kids.
I think he stole someone's wig. I think he smacked a child. I think he hid in the ball pit for way too long. And God knows what's at the bottom of that ball pit now.
No, because kids would still go back to Krusty if they did that. He definitely killed children.
Yeah. Yeah, also doesn't say what kind of monkey. Hopefully it's one of those smaller ones and not like a chimp.
No, it's got to be, what is it, Bubbles? No, Pickles.
Mr.
What's his
Teeny?
name? Yeah, Mr. Teeny.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he would say Mr. Teeny. So anyway, Homer...
The silly part there is like, she's like, oh, my dad said we could go to Krusty Burger. And they're like, then they should be free because he owns the whole chain,
right,
of course.
That's what you were thinking.
His daughter, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we still have to pay full price.
So Homer encourages the kids to quit while they're on top. Something about having one childhood. Do you have any quotes here that stand out to you for your little speech?
So, they're like, on to the next part. And he's like, whoa. You know what, kids? I'm going to blow your minds. Little harder device, quit while you're ahead. And they're like, what? And Bart's like, we can't quit. There's so many more tournaments. Homer goes, you won one video game tournament. This isn't like baseball or politics where you can make real money. Which is very silly.
I knew you would like that line. I was like, yeah, that's a Robin line if I ever heard one. And as soon as Bart mentions that there's a $500,000 prize for the next tournament, Homer declares childhood is over. It's time for work. Immediately, the cell phone rings, and it's the plant, and Homer declines the call. So that's another thing that I love.
It says work. He's like, it's time for work. And then his phone buzzes work. And he's like, nope. And he's just sitting there broken on the floor.
Constant theme throughout this episode that Homer is just ditching work left and right to do this coaching thing. And it's always kind of funny when Homer plays hooky from the plant, in my opinion.
Oh, good. But it's consistent throughout. They do start making jokes in these later seasons all the time about how, like, how much actual time are you spending there?
Right.
Like, he's out of work so often.
Like when they got addicted to the puzzle, Lenny and Carl actually came over to the house. And he's like, it's been a week. We haven't seen Homer. Like, is he Poochie again? So we're at the house and Homer is reading Training a Tiger, which is that Tiger Woods' dad book.
Tiger Woods' his dad. And he wrote the book about like bringing up your children to be champions.
And then Maggie comes up and is kind of asking for attention. And the funny part, of course, is Maggie's doing something extraordinary. And she's like bouncing a golf ball on a club,
Yeah, like Tiger does. And there's a famous commercial where he does the juggling. And then Homer's like, knock off that racket.
And then we get a very obvious joke coming in about as well, because it's Bart being asked to by his father to sit on his knee. And, he was originally going to say, like, I'm too old for that. No, come on, sit on my knee. And then immediately hear the crackle noise.
He's like, oh, get off. Yeah, because he's talking to him because Bart's like, so you're going to, like, go behind mom's back? And he's like, no, sit on my knee. But it's like very, very brutal, the breaking of Homer's knee in this, which goes back to the wiki, which says goofs in like the mistake section. Large paragraph talking about Bart having been able to sit on Homer's knees in previous episodes without hurting Homer. Well, they put that in as a goof.
What is bootleg fucking Simpsons wiki?
I don't know. The other ones have been very good, but like these later seasons, like nobody's filling it in. Like there ain't much there.
Do you get paid for filling in Wikipedia articles? Because maybe this will be your new job.
I need to go call somebody.
Even if it's exactly what I was thinking. And you could get some change. Get some change in your pocket.
It also failed to mention that Ken Jeong was in the episode.
It did in the Wiki Prime. Wiki Prime is all the time. I don't even know what I said back there. Anyway, there's a lesson.
Optimus Prime? Yes.
Wikipedia, roll out. There you go. Son, here's a life lesson. I don't directly tell your mother anything bad. I secretly make her a part of everything she's against. That's why I spent your winnings on her. So Homer, fucking just all in on like doing what needs to be done to manage this family. Come
When
hooker,
he
come.
wants to be, he's very clever.
Yes, and he buys Marge an espresso pod machine, and one of the things I love about it is he, like Marge mentioned something about like, oh, the one I made fun of at the Hibberts. Yeah, well, because you made fun of it, I knew you secretly wanted it.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
What did you like about this lovely pod espresso machine that Marge was gifted?
So while Homer is like manipulating her, he's saying like, trying to lightly let her in on the fact that Bart's playing video games again. He's making this cup of coffee, and he's got like this little dollop, of cream
The
on
foam
top
or
from the
cream or whatever.
foaming,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like it looks very nice as he's like manipulating her. And Marge is like, "I love how it doesn't fill the cup. How very European," which is. Like the little espresso shot. I used to
I
work
know.
at a coffee shop in Tribeca, in New York, and they taught me to make espresso. And the small latte gets one shot of espresso, so I was making the espresso right, and people were getting mad. And finally, my cousin who owned the thing, he's like, "No, just give them more espresso." I'm like, "Cool, but that's not." He's like, just run it to the top. So we're just making bitter ass espresso to make people's lattes better. Like, I don't know, man.
And that
What
was
the fuck?
Coffee Rant by Robin.
Wait, hold on a second.
Round
That was
one.
You should have played the other one because the run is over.
You win. Perfect.
We're gonna see how that gets edited. So I used to work at Linens and Things, and we would actually sell these pod machines towards the end of my illustrious career at that location, and it was very funny. People are, not to get like I should have added to the Simpsons wiki that you were talking about, but I don't really think those pod ones come with foamers, but maybe I'm mistaken.
A lot of them do now. Absolutely,
they
they come with the
Okay.
steam attachments and everything, and
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so while sucking down espresso, Marge luckily agrees to get Homer coaching Bart, and he kind of plays it coy. He's just like, hey, it could be football, it could be baseball, it could be a dumb video game. And then
what?
And then, like, as soon as she gets a little dollop of like the froth, right? She's like, okay,
That's
whatever.
it.
And he's like, oh yeah, and by the
like,
way, there's also a tutor named the Detonator.
The Detonator comes in. I love the Detonator in this.
And he arrives with a card and hands it to Marge. And if you can play that clip for me about the Detonator intro, I found this kind of like awkward thing very funny.
I can't make conversation unless it's about gaming. Do you want to come in? Do you want to go where they're playing the game?
Thank you, ma'am.
He's very polite. Thank you,
He's
ma'am.
almost like autistic, which makes some sense.
It's pretty funny. And then we get a Detonator basically going to Bart's room, or the basement, I should say. Or no, it's in Bart's room. Later is in the basement. And there's just a lot of nonsense jargon coming your way. So he goes like, Homer, I've watched Bart play here on his Twitch feed and his hit form, Instabox, Give Track, Bazubba, Yarga, Punch, streams. And then Homer is like,
the only word.
Go ahead.
The only one I recognized was Give Track. Like it's all nonsense, but
right. And we also like the next part because the Detonator goes, I think Bart has what it takes to be the top 10
players in the country.
Think bigger.
The galaxy?
Smaller.
World?
Yes.
Oh, Homer. And he goes, woohoo!
We get the training beginning. I love how he mentions to the kids, like, I hope everyone has a swivel chair because you're about to get educated or something like that. It's pretty funny in that regard. And there's a lot of jargon thrown around about Detonator, and the kids are listening attentively. And what I did is I pulled a clip of just an example of what that kind of jargon is. So when you get a chance, can you hit the button for the jargon?
Notice my finger is clicking the mouse with a light, quick stroke to limit joint fatigue and tracking error. I'm clicking like the mouse button is hot, not too hot, like the top of a toaster after an underdone bagel. Okay, now I'm using that quick mouse stroke here and here, which is how Bart used to drop diamondite mines to surround their spawn point.
So that was just a brief example. And what you liked about it too is that he continues this kind of dialogue
So
you
this
need
whole
to.
scene is just like him doing a stream of consciousness, basically, and the kids every once in a while interjecting, and then they get to a certain point, and he's like, "Okay, Homer, you watch the screen while I take a quick AP." And Homer's like, "What's an AP?" And Bart's like, "It's gaming appreciation for a P." And
Homer's
Homer's
impressed.
like, he's like, "Nerd lingo saves so much time." But we were talking about this is like, so then the detonator walks through the house and he's still got his headset on and he's like commentating. He's like, all right, I'm walking through the kitchen, blue haired woman feeding the baby. I'm not making eye contact.
I
Marge
love
is
how
like,
Marge is like, why do you have shoelace holes but no laces?
he's like linoleum, indicating how he's like staring down at the ground. Strafing into the bathroom, gonna go into defuel mood, lifting the seat with the show. Pro tip: over the belt saves time. Shaking, flushing, and hand washing are all real time killers. Leave those out.
And then Milhouse
That's
is
my
seen writing
favorite.
down belt saves time. And then when the detonator returns back down to where the basement, he wipes his hands on Homer's shirt.
I didn't pick up on that one.
That was such a gross
Uh,
little detail that I love because I was like, oh, he totally wiped
but
piss on Homer's shirt.
I love the line shaking, flushing, and hand washing is the real time killers. It's just so
Shaking.
nasty.
What
He
the
didn't even
hell?
flush.
Yeah. Ugh,
You get a
so
little
gross.
pee inside. He's admitting it.
His underwear must be disgusting.
The
So
tragedy strikes, Josh.
the detonator makes an error and is killed in the game. Immediately, his demeanor changes from champ to chump. And we have the clip of his end where he gives a little bit of sample of his closing monologue that goes on forever.
We should have music like.
I mistimed it. Oh, God, I mistimed. They killed me.
Do you mind if I dance over your corpse?
I'd be mad if you didn't. It's over for me.
Why?
I just lost my gaming edge. Right there, just now. Been in the zone for years, and now I'm not. Time in a bottle, man. Time in a bottle.
I love how you
bottle, man.
I love how you hear
Time in a
Milhouse in the background being like,
We were talking about it earlier, but the like defiling of corpses in
Yeah.
these video games. I mean,
Oh, of
it's like
course.
100% half of the, why it's damaging our children, Josh.
Yes, teabagging is time as old tale as old as time. Yeah. And we got Homer being like, but you were going to mold my team into winners and I was going to live through them. And it's like, just yesterday I turned 19, made it longer than most in this crazy biz. And he kind of talks about how he's going to like go work at his uncle's tile store.
He goes, I'm going to go work for my uncle. He owns a tile store. It'll be a good life. Good enough.
And the melodrama continues with Martin going, I didn't cry at my grandpa's funeral, mostly because he was racist, but I'm crying now. That's good. Then
There's so much packed into those two lines right there.
It's a lot.
It's
and then,
great. It's
immediately he goes
joke.
outside and he burns his hoodie. He rips off his soul patch to burn that. He burns his glasses, his hat, or whatever else he has on.
And then he has 10,000 tips that like to better gaming that only I know, and he burns that too instead of giving it to the kids inside. So we didn't emphasize enough is like they're really talking about Bart might be one of the top 10 gamers in the world, like one of the best at this very intense industry. He might be the best in the world, and he just could have handed Bart his 10,000 tips. Instead he burns it. It seems so wasteful, Josh. It seems so wasteful.
Yeah, well, c'est la vie. Now that the comic book well is dried up, Hollywood is out of ideas again. They are desperately searching for the next big thing.
And at a certain mustache plumber made $1 billion, execs are eyeing video games. That's why the scandal-ridden Vernadudes Studios picked up the licensing rights for the hit game Conflict of Enemies.
Although the head of VD, Lance McDingleberry, didn't have a clue what Conflict of Enemies was or about, he greenlit the multi-million-dollar deal. Well, the dynamic paradigm of a proactive approach to its storytelling, and we think the fans would love to see that on the big screen.
But excuse me, but proactive paradigm. These are just buzzwords that executives use to sound important.
Well, excuse me, my dear man. Remind me what network you work for again.
Oh,
What my co-host meant to say was, who are you eyeing for the leading role? That's what I thought. The searches aren't gearing, but I guarantee you they will be sexy and, time permitting, smart.
thank you, Lance. Conflict of Enemies: the movie is slated to release in summer of 2028. Now back to the news.
So Homer is now the only one left to coach, and he immediately does a montage.
Exactly.
He
It's
even
funny.
says cue the music, which is great. I thought that was a cute little touch.
There's the one line where Homer is talking about Milhouse is like, "Do we get uniforms?" He's like, "No uniforms. You're a ragtag bunch without any sponsors. They'll have everyone rooting for you." And then he's like, "That's when they hit Kid It," because there's a callback to that, which is why I mentioned it. And we get that great montage where the kids are playing. Mostly we see Bart, and Homer's just trying to distract them in
him,
some
yeah.
way or another, like yelling at, popping balloons, throwing water on them.
The puppy.
Yeah. He has a puppy like licking Bart's face. He's still just like hyper focused on it.
And then they
it's
all the
great
kids
for
are
ADD
wearing
kids.
they're wearing like those beer dome hats that hold the cans to drink, right? But instead it's coffee.
It's coffee. And he's just pouring coffee, and these things are sucking it through the straws.
And then we get a good Malcolm Gladwell dig, which I'm always for. Kids, you need to practice 10,000 hours to get great. Are you sure? Well, that's how long Malcolm Gladwell needed to think it up. And I like Malcolm. He has some interesting concepts overall.
Who
But
is?
sometimes
Tell him what does he do? Who is he?
he writes books, and he says to actually get a skill down pat, you need to do 10,000 hours of practice to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And he has all sorts of other theories about things. Some of it I agree with, other things I don't. So yeah, it's I don't know. He writes interesting books, and sometimes the interesting thoughts are not as interesting as he thinks. So Homer is in bed singing it up, basically doing "We Are the Champions," which turns into "I Am the Champions," and he's basically talking about how he's living through Bart's achievements. And the Tiger Woods book is back. It just keeps showing up throughout the episode.
There's one quick Josh when he's singing it.
Yeah.
He's like, "I am the champion of the," and then Homer goes, Marge comes and goes, "Homer," and he stops and then he goes, "World," like he had to finish it.
Absolutely. Marge is like encouraging Homer not to stop and to keep it going because she's worried this guy's going to end up in jail.
Bart.
Yeah. And I love how Marge is like, but will you also coach him to be a good man? That's Flanders' job. And then off camera, we hear, I'm on it.
I'm on it. And Marge is like, oh, like Homer completely abdicates that responsibility.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And Marge is like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, she's 100% on board.
That's perfect.
So then we have a dream sequence where Homer is walking into the club of dads who lived through their glorious athletic children. Tiger Woods' father is the one giving the introduction.
So they also have Carmelo Anthony's father is in there.
Yep.
And then they have somebody who's, probably South American soccer kid, and then a couple other parents. But there's probably, 7 dads in there?
It's an eclectic group of sports dads. They got almost like one for each sport, so to speak.
Exactly.
And then we have a song, and you like the songs more than I do, but I think we're both on the same page for this one.
So the set the scene up is Tiger Woods' dad is guiding Homer into this club of great sports figures, fathers who are taking credit for their sons, and they're trying to teach him. They're trying to motivate him to be a better father of a champion.
Yeah.
like Tiger Woods' dad goes, Homer, we're obsessive sports fathers, so we're going to teach you how to motivate the only way we know how. And Homer's like, don't hit me. Because, for every, Tiger Woods' dad, I'm not sure what he was doing. We have like Joe Jackson.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The horror stories, that a lot of champions' parents.
Yeah, I
Is
also
it
think
worth
of
it, Josh?
was it Serena Williams, the Williams sisters, right? Had a very
Yeah, yeah.
dogmatic father. So
So to motivate Homer, they do the song.
yeah, and originally I was going to sing it, but we're going like long in time, and
Okay.
no one wants to hear me sing anyway.
It's not
The
a
one
very good song, Josh,
I
honestly.
also the only lines that I really liked was never won the Stanley Cup trophy for 5 years in a row because I love hockey. But then the chorus basically sums it up as like live through your kid.
Right.
And you and I love the ending of it because it's Homer and the dads in a bed.
So the song's over and Homer wakes up, but he's in bed and Tiger Woods' father is like, "You're this still part of the dream." And Homer rolls over and just cuddles up to Tiger's
It's so
dad.
sweet. Yeah.
And like it's so intimate and cute. I did think that was a particularly fun little piece of animation in this.
All right, so we're on to our next tournament here, and the crowd
This
is
is the
showing for
US
Bart.
Championships. So we did the regionals, now onto the US Championships.
And Bart's team is being cheered for as underdogs because they're not wearing uniforms. And we got a fun little back and forth.
The man is like, "No uniforms. I'm rooting for those underdogs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you are. You don't even know why. I just said it's the uniforms." Not a clue. I mean, it's great. Homer just so proud of his little dig.
Right.
And he's like, anyway.
They're also facing a Canadian team.
That's the callback.
Called the
Just
Calgary.
in case you forgot.
Calgary Lames.
The Calgary Lames, like the Calgary Flames.
When you reminded me that when we were doing a pre-production, I was thinking of that like Volkswagen commercial with the German guy. It's like, you say your flames, more like lames.
Yeah, I don't know that commercial, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah, like there's this guy with like a flame, like with
German
a flaming
humor.
like a patch on his jacket, his motorcycle jacket or whatever, and he just like rips off the F. It's pretty funny. And there's a lot of dumb Canadian jokes throughout this thing. I feel like the writers just had some Canadian jokes built in, like somewhere. They're like in a drawer. They're like, oh, I got some good ones.
They definitely want to do it. They're like, South Park did it. South Park did it.
So Bart wins the day, even though the team wiped. And for people who do not know what that means all the people on his team passed or were killed. But
passed away.
Then the announcer kind of comes in and is like, Bart Simpson is not given the GG and the dynamite mine. It's not even dynamite. It's dynamite mine. He planted in the dragon's turd is exploding now. I love how it's a dragon's turd. That he's in. I think that's very funny. And so like basically like, Bart before he croaked in the game, planted a mine that exploded and won them the match.
And so even though they were all dead, the other team's coming to like by the crystal and then they would win, but it goes off and they get to win the end.
Correct. And it's funny because the Canadian team thinks they have it in the bag.
Right.
And so they do the classic thing where they like rip off the Gatorade top to throw it up onto their coach.
Like before it's over, they're already pouring the quote unquote Gatorade, but it's maple syrup. And you just get the scene where you just show them pouring it and it's just kind of like slowly like rolling down the side and trying to come out.
One of the kids say in the most adult hockey voice I've ever heard, it's like, "Don't worry, Gordy, it's coming."
Gordy
Hall,
a reference to the greatest.
Yeah, of course. And anyway, so the Canadians are out and the kids are going to South Korea.
The announcer's funny there. When he's like, and the Canadian team is out, and they're like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're oot," and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "And I am too. This is the last match I'll announce. I'm going to spend my time oil painting, but my wife says not in the house."
Very, very random thing to bring up as an announcer in general. And again, I feel like they just had like these little bits in the drawer somewhere.
It's
where, like
100%.
They just so happened to fit for this episode.
This is like the ransom letter of episodes.
There you go. So back at home, Lisa is upset that Homer is spending all the time with Bart. She even calls out what will happen next, and she's like, "And I know you're just going to respond with a 'That's nice, honey,' and move on. I know it." Homer immediately says, "That's nice, honey. Bart and I are going to South Korea,"
and then walks away.
And Bart is in the background. Bart is in the background while Lisa and Homer are having this moment, being like blah 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 with his hands,
like mocking it. But Lisa's really upset. Like she's really upset.
And Marge is immediately in there to try to cheer her up and be like, no, we'll have like a girls' night. We'll watch movies. We'll go out. We'll do whatever we want. And then Lisa's basically like says like, I need to go to this Buddhist temple in South Korea. It's been one of my goals of my young life. And she goes like to sum it all up at the end. She says, I'm holding on to a thin rope here because if Bart and Dad go to Seoul and I miss out, I'll lose my grip. I'm losing it now. Hear me, to God, someone hear me. Help me before it's too late.
She is going. She's like losing her
eye
shit.
is twitching like the whole time, and she starts like doing like erratic movements with her arms and legs,
and her mother, knowing her as she does, immediately goes, "Girls trip to South Korea."
Oh, thank you, Mom. Like everything just washes away.
Like Marge did not have a choice. Like Lisa was going postal, as they say.
And we're off to Seoul, which makes a lot of sense. So people who don't know, Seoul, South Korea loves these kind of like RTS games. They have a channel that's totally dedicated to StarCraft. And it's just like players playing StarCraft being televised all the time. So having a very big...
Wait, is that the old NS2 game? Super NES?
That was PC, and it's an RTS.
It was Star Fox.
That's Star Fox.
Star Fox.
No, it's StarCraft, made by the same people. It's Blizzard, who did.
It's not the same though. Well. It's not as good though, is it?
I actually prefer Star Fox over StarCraft.
I've never even heard of StarCraft, honestly.
I understand, but I just wanted to say, like, it really makes sense that the Simpsons would pick Seoul as like the place where this kind of
turn is
going to happen, because it's huge now. But before we get to the actual event, we get some fun signs and whatnot. As soon as they land, they're on a bus going to the hotel room. You see in the background, Simpson Animation Studio and Casino. Come on by the Simpsons Animation Studio and Casino.
You can watch live animators working their magic in the slave-like conditions.
Then test your luck in the casino itself. There are thousands of games to play.
One lucky person can win their own animator to fulfill their most dirty desires.
After winning big, relax by the pool or enjoy one of our delicious kimchi smoothies.
Don't worry, those pores won't disturb your experience.
Thanks to our glorious leader, they're not allowed in the casino or this part of town.
Simpsons Animation Studio and Casino, a winning combination. We should reference that somehow, Josh.
I wonder if it would sound like this.
So the Simpsons. So Simpsons animation is all done in South Korea.
Correct.
They do the storyboarding, and that goes to their hub in South Korea, and they do all of the animation, which is brilliant. And so they're a huge partner for the Simpsons in
that's
Korea.
A very common tactic is for animation to be shipped overseas. You might have a studio stateside because the labor is so much cheaper.
The labor is so much cheaper.
And they draw better than Americans.
Well, I mean, there is that. Better education system, you know what I mean?
No, they have the 10,000 hours.
Because American education system, Josh, it's not up to snuff. They've been degrading it for 40 fucking years.
It's because they've had 10,000 plus hours of slave labor drawing, so they're really good experts of it.
So they're driving to the hotel. They get to the hotel. We got this great, pretty nice hotel room. Nelson pops open the fridge. He's like, pretzels, M&Ms, Pringles. It's a complete Thanksgiving dinner, which is hilarious. But then Homer walks up, slams the fridge shut, and he goes, Pringles are for champions only.
Yeah, it's almost like a coffee is for closers type of moment, right?
That's 100%.
All right, so then we get Homer asking to have a talk with Milhouse, and Milhouse sees the writing on the wall far advanced.
Oh, this is never good. And Homer's like, no, don't worry, it's all right.
And as soon as they get into the other room, he's like, it's bad.
It's really bad, actually. I lied.
But Homer's justification is following. He's like, that's why I chose you. You've got rejection muscle. Which just makes me, and then Milhouse is like, fine.
It's good so boy. Sad.
But he's just like, fine. He's like, good boy, you're our Rudy. Rudy got to play. I didn't say which Rudy.
This scene with Homer and Milhouse is pretty classic. And then, then the last part is Milhouse goes, "Can you at least give me a pity job like scorekeeper?" And Homer's like, "Fine, you're scorekeeper." And Milhouse is like, "I don't want your pity job."
At which point, Lisa comes in and says, "Dad, I think you could use some more salt in your diet."
Dun dun dun, transition time.
And then Lisa,
Transition to the
Marge,
new
Maggie,
scene.
and Homer are going to go to the Buddhist temple that was mentioned
That
before.
temple that Lisa
and make
was so adamant
salt
about.
mandalas.
Mhm.
Did I say that right? Mandalas? I hope I did. We're going to say
Salt
that I did.
mandala. Yes, I think it's mandalas.
Cool. Two white people trying to figure out what's going on in Korea. What could go wrong?
So they're walking there, and Homer's is like, "Where are you taking us? I don't want to be here."
Oh, and I
Lisa's
forgot.
like, "Shh, we're here."
There's that throwaway joke where he's calling Barney, who's asleep at the wheel,
Oh,
but also like driving, like and FaceTiming Homer for some reason. Like, what was that about? Like, that was so weird.
Nothing. If there was a king of rando clips, that might be it. But there's lots of opportunities for that in this episode.
Is that to like set up that Homer could have been doing like something like a phone call with Barney instead of going to this temple? Like, is that what that was supposed to be?
Or if he was going to, Barney was taking care of Maggie, and they didn't bring her, which they did. Maggie is in this episode.
We know where Maggie is. Thank God.
Yes, we know where Maggie is.
You know that's been a problem in the past, not knowing where Maggie is.
They go to this lovely temple that Lisa
gorgeous.
was. It's one of the places. It's like her bucket list item. Like, she is a Buddhist, and this is just a real Zen temple that's very famous. I wonder if it was real. I didn't look it up, but I did wonder if the one she referenced. I'm pretty sure it's real.
If anybody doesn't know what these are, so salt mandalas is like when you take salt and there's a giant like black board that you do it in, and you make various pictures that are very gorgeous. And then the whole idea of it is at the end you destroy it to like symbolize the Buddhist philosophy of like destruction and peace and Zen. You know, there's creation, there's destruction. It's all part of the same cycle.
Trying to hold on to possessions in this life can distract you from living this life. Is the
correct.
idea.
And so Lisa has two goals: to get Marge Zen and to get Homer Zen. And so first up,
wait, first they get there, Josh.
Oh, right.
And Lisa's like, "You gotta take your shoes off," and Homer's like, "You sure these are safe here?" And Marge is like, "No, the whole temple is a scam to collect smelly shoes." And Homer's like, "I knew it."
Jiminy Jillikers. I wonder if that'll pan out later as some kind of callback.
There's maybe a callback to that later.
All right, so Lisa goes to Marge first, and she makes a very beautiful portrait of the family. It's very classic. And Lisa's like, "Okay, cool. Now destroy it." So why don't you go ahead and play the Marge Zen clip so we can experience what Marge felt when she hit the Zen.
Mom, you're tidying it. Destroy it. Are you happy now? Because I am.
Yes, you've achieved Zen. Now you just have to do 2 more.
And then the camera will pan to the side and we see 3 Zen minimum.
Now you just have to achieve 2 more Zens and you're good.
Right. Which is kind of hilarious. I love that idea. Like, what are they going to do? Not let her leave? Sorry, you only did 1.5.
It's such a capitalist concept in this place that's meant to be the antithesis of that. That's the joke.
Yeah,
Which, if
it's
you
almost
have to
like
explain it.
Have 2 Zens, get a free Kung Pao chicken.
All right, now, Josh, you did just bring an Americanized Chinese dish
of course I did,
into a Buddhist temple
in Korea.
Yeah.
So should I have said I should have been like, if you do 2 Zens, then you get free Korean barbecue.
Exactly.
Is that
or
better?
soju.
There you go. So next up is Homer, and why don't you go ahead and just play the Homer Zen clip, because we got pretty much the same thing going on here.
Now do you see it? Do you see the meaninglessness of striving for worldly things?
I do. I am going to stop being so driven and ambitious. Don't you laugh, Missy.
I love it because Homer's, like Lisa almost cracks up because this happens a lot in The Simpsons.
Yes.
When Homer's like, I'm gonna quit drinking or anything else. He's like, I'm going to stop being so driven and ambitious, which he is not. And Lisa's like, Dad, come on, like.
And during this whole exchange, which is lovely, by the way, I think it's really nice that Lisa is doing this with her parents and introducing them to new concepts and things. I think this is one of the best parts of the episode.
And they have breakthroughs.
Correct. It's very interesting.
Both of them.
2 monks are watching, and they are thoroughly impressed. And this made me almost spit out like milk through my nose type of laughter. I just thought it was so goddamn funny. So go ahead and do that for me.
Amazing Zen. He's like the reincarnation of the Buddha. It is the Buddha! Great, now I feel guilty. I stole his shoes.
It's too good.
One of the beautiful things about comedy, and every comedian knows this, it's not necessarily the first joke that hits hard, it's the callback.
That's exactly right.
And
they do it very well. But important note that voice was Ken Jeong.
And
Both
I
voices.
have at my desk that you can't see, but I'm going to show Robin right now, a Homer Buddha
Yep.
that has been with me for years now. So actually seeing this scene and him become the Buddha itself, I'm like, yeah, that fits. I don't know why Homer as like the Buddha works.
Well, now, Josh, let's not overlook the fact that he takes his shirt off in the middle of his temple.
I love how he leaves his socks on too, because obviously his feet are so disgusting that he cannot take his socks off. You know, he can't go barefoot.
It's too funny.
But now Homer is in a state of zen. But let's not forget about the A plot, and we go back to the final tournament where and we get fun bits where drones are making various signs and doing advertising. And it starts off with like, this is the event, followed by sponsored by this thing. And then what I love is like the next sponsor is like for cheap drone rentals, Have
two for one Tuesdays, exactly. It's like doing in this very elaborate sky formation,
and because it's like a CGI like swarm drone technology, it kind of gave me like a Futurama vibe, because they're all doing green lights.
Yeah. But they're doing this mundane stuff with this futuristic thing, which is 100% Futurama's entire joke. Yeah.
If you look in the background, you'll see the various drones doing new signs, new advertising. It all kind of
it's always like eat it Sizzler.
Yeah. And this is why I tell myself, like, don't just do the notes version of it. You always got to watch this episode without doing any notes, just sitting there with my bong and beer, or maybe not, and just watching it. And I miss a lot of those drone bits when I was doing my notes at first. So I'm glad I went back and saw them because they were pretty funny.
The final tournament is we had the announcer come in, and we're already late in the game. Is what I'm trying to establish is when we come in, they're in the middle of the game, not even the middle. They're in the late part of the game. And the announcer's like, we're in the late game. And Evergreen, they have a narrow lead against the Brazilian blowouts. But where is Homer? And of course, Homer has been communing with the Zen. And then we cut to Homer.
And it looks like he's racing through the skyline. It's the same crisscross applesauce legs with him with his hands out and him just with his eyes closed and just kind of feeling the moment.
He has ascended to a higher plane.
It looks like he's raising up through the skyline, and then they cut to showing him on an elevator. And also, the announcer is a gentleman named David Turley, who actually was an announcer for esports in real life.
Oh, really?
So why not get a guest star on there who already knows the biz? And I also love how during that little segment, it shows Bart with like the thought bubble that pops up. And it's like trophy number 1. Sophie, trophy number 1. Martin, new best friend. And it's Nelson. And then Nelson is bedroom with a fucking door on it.
Oh, no. See, that's a callback.
That's pretty fun. And then Homer is just like, so beautiful. As he's overlooking the tournament down below with all,
and it's coming to its climax. Bart's like, we're gonna win. Like, they are this close to being the world champions at League of Tournaments or whatever the hell the game is. And Homer, overseeing this scene, opens the fuse box, and he's like on top of a building looking down. It's very epic. And he just as they're about to win, he turns off the power.
I love how the screen doesn't immediately shut off, and it does like a backward cycle through video
Yes!
games.
Yes!
So, it starts off as like the new shiny one, and then it goes
and then
back
it goes to a 2D one.
Yeah, and then it goes back to like Pac-Man, and then it goes to Pong, and then it goes out.
It's so good.
And immediately
But
announcer
there's
comes
pandemonium now. Pandemonium.
No, not now. Not until the announcer says the match is canceled. No refund. Send in the riot police. So this is the venue starting the violence, not the other way around. And we get sad music playing, like cops are smashing computer equipment. There's a giant mech grief counselor, and the drones in the background are saying like "destroy."
We go back to the giant mech grief counselor.
Yes,
is like what I kind of characterize as like the RoboCop
the
2.
Ed 201 from RoboCop.
Like, and it's like, but it's supposed to be the grief counselor.
Correct. And again, the drones, look for the drones in the background, people, when you're watching this episode, because this is when they're like showing all sorts of different messages that are hilarious. There's kids that are trying to like fly out of the building that kind of reminisce of like the fall of Vietnam by holding onto like a rope with a drone on it, and then they immediately
Very
fall.
Dramatic music, of course.
And then as it continues, we see Milhouse chilling in the building. Milhouse had it all like he got kicked out of the tournament, but now he's sitting in eating the mini fridge stuff, watching TV, and then behind him you see the building burning. Nelson is all of a sudden making the grief counselor mech punch itself. A water tower full of kimchi explodes, all while Homer is meditating under a shooting star. So it is.
But the music of this. Did you recognize the music from it?
No.
It's the MASH theme.
Oh, is it?
Which is the song "Suicide is Painless. It takes on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I try."
And then we're done. Everyone's done. We immediately cut to the plane. Homer is trying to hold on to his Zen for a flight with no entertainment or no almonds.
Because the pilot's like, welcome to our 1 hour. No, it's like 19
hours. It's
it's like a 19-hour flight from Seoul, South Korea to Springfield.
Yeah, direct flight.
Not even USA, Springfield, USA.
The plane had a tail. It had the Blinky, the three-eyed fish, as the tail logo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Look at Springfield Air. I would not fly that. One brief note. Our in-flight entertainment system is not working at all. Have a great flight, folks. Also, we're all out of snacks.
Homer is like,
Homer's not happy about
Remember
this.
your Zen. And then the flight attendant goes, I am sorry. You're too fat for coach. We'll have to put you in first class. Thanks to Buddha, I win again. Dad, I don't think you're quite grasping the legend. 2 words. Boo.
Duh.
Yeah, I felt like very Ace Ventura in that one.
Boo.
Yeah, but we're not done yet. You thought that was end. We had the credits, and then we have a post-credit scene, and Homer is once again dreaming about the dad's sports club. They no longer want him in, though.
So Tiger's dad's like, we don't want you anymore. You blew it. Your son now has a chance to be well adjusted. And they're like, yeah, you asshole.
I love how he's like, I have a baby daughter.
Maybe she's good at beach volleyball. Tiger's dad's like, how old is she?
1.
Too late. Slams the door in his face. It's a really good closing scene because it trips along very quickly. And the part at the end where he's like, oh, but I have a daughter, and he, like, Tiger's dad pretends to be like, oh, really? Oh, maybe you could be let in. And then he just slams the door in his face because she's 1. Like, you got to get to him in the womb. Everybody knows that, Josh.
Man, if that's not commentary on the sports stuff, I don't know what is.
Do you think your mom did the thing where she put the headphones on her pregnant stomach to play classical music to you?
No.
I don't.
No. I don't think so.
I don't see that.
Robin, do you hear that sound?
What's that, Josh?
Well, you know what time it is. It's the
Krusty Grand Seal of
All right. I went first, so I'm going to go. My Sports is a fun, more modern episode of The Simpsons. They nail the gamer aesthetic, and it's great to see an activity Bart excels at. Homer denotes some intelligence managing his family relationships for a change, while simultaneously succeeding through his kid. Lisa starts and finishes the episode, and it was nice to see the family minus Bart embrace her faith. Here are some of my favorite jokes. Flanders chiming in that'll help Bart become a good man. Homer ignoring his day job throughout the episode. The monk stealing Homer's shoes. And Lisa updating her bibliography, and then the crusty one-off line about the monkey ruining a birthday party. The detonator's demise went a little too long, in my opinion. Like, I feel like after like time in the bottle, you probably could have moved on with that whole bit. But whatever, you know, he got 20 minutes to fill, right? and,
Right.
and to that notion, also indifferent to the song that also felt like we got actually 25 minutes to fill. What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought so too.
Also, the club concept itself is humorous, you know, so I thought that was a nice little like cherry on top with the, you know, credit scene. You know, but the minor quibbles aside, I really like this one. I don't think it straight goes up to a 4, which is why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
Excellent. That's not it.
What are your thoughts?
I did not think this was a great episode. Watching it, and I had just recently watched it before this. I feel like I could count the actual laughs. Like there's a lot through it that's kind of like, huh, that's kind of funny. There's a lot of those jokes in there, but like the laughs, the ones where it made me kind of laugh, were pretty few and far between. It's entertaining, but it was just not up to snuff with the show. I didn't think. The writing is mostly mildly funny and unclever, tongue-in-cheek jokes. Right from the start with like the board games, you know. I thought it was kind of phoned in. It kind of churned out this one, so I'm giving it a 1.
Oh, 1. Wow. I didn't think it was that bad. Jesus, dude. Also, I wonder, is that because you're not familiar with the whole video game stuff? I wonder if that played a factor.
So what I was thinking when you were talking is exactly the same thing. Like I play games and I kind of get it, but yeah, it didn't resonate.
I mean, it was the same thing with me with the Mafia stuff. Only I generously gave it a 2.
Do you want me to capitulate? Because I felt like on that one that you kind of wussed out on the 1.
Nah, yeah, I could have, but I didn't. No, it's the same thing where you're just not into it. You're not into the subject matter at hand. I wasn't into the Mafia stuff. You're not into the video game stuff as much. You play games, but you're not into it like I am.
I just didn't think. I thought they cut and pasted so much stuff in here that just didn't make any sense at all. The goddamn mustache, all the other freaking stuff we talked about. Let me ask you this: there was another character that replaced Milhouse.
Yeah.
And we never hear from him. He's sitting in a seat once at a thing. It's just kind of totally pointless to do the Milhouse joke. That kid never got a character, which is just like that's all throughout this. That's what this episode was.
See, for me, that was like, they could have pulled any kid off the street in Seoul who would have been better than Milhouse to play the video game.
Poor Milhouse.
That's how I took it.
Milhouse was fragging pretty good.
Because I already knew that,
early on.
I already knew that's like South Korea is like really into these type of video games, especially the tournaments and the esports. So I was like, that's just to me like, we could just pull any ringer off the street.
You said something last week about the man.
Yes,
lady.
I didn't like that whatsoever.
That the callback would have been better. And for me, if there had been a moment at which somebody was aside like, Milhouse is really kind of bringing us down because he doesn't have the good chatter or something stupid like that, and then you do this, kind of might have made it, more depth, but I didn't find the depth in it. And not even those weren't a lot of those jokes weren't even chuckles. They're like, that's clever, funny, but it's entertaining. I'm loving watching these later episodes of The Simpsons. I encourage everybody 100% to do it. But this one I thought was poorly crafted, not written, beautifully animated as always. I love the acting, but yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap for Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do all the cliche things, the liking, the following, the commenting, or just tell a friend. We are currently on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Snert shoutouts. I recently recorded an episode from the Delvin Cox Experience. Heard of them? You were having me on talking about the Sydney Sweeney and Crackle Barrel marketing controversy and wanted my perspective as someone who's worked in advertising for 15 years. I do not know when it's coming out. I do not know when this is coming out. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's coming out soon. But it'll be there. Look at your podcast feeds. Look for Snerts. I'll be around. It was a lot of fun to have that episode. And it's not just... calendar. It wasn't just the fun with the marketing discussion, which I found interesting on an intellectual level, but the 5 for 5 is very nerdy and not relevant. Yeah. So I think there's a little bit of best of both worlds there. And then
one of our favorite podcasts, by the way.
Absolutely. And we got Dr. Moxford, the raddest fan of them all.
The Doctor.
You want to hear more from your old pal Snerts? Then check out the PlayStation Experience on your podcast platform of choice. I can also be found on most of the things at Lord_Snerts. Robin, outro and plugs.
What is your podcast platform of choice, Josh?
Spotify.
We did not do a rant this week, although I got a couple in there. I don't know if you noticed, Josh. I was pretty sly.
You were sly? You were like Sly Stallone? I even just like, let me rant for a minute. Yeah, you know, I just didn't do it anyway. You know?
Adrian, fascism. We're about to learn what happens when societal structures start to fall apart. About to learn tough lessons really quickly. Those of us that know history understand why people have their heads in the sand, but at a point that becomes painfully impossible. Be alert, be safe.
You win. Perfect.
Also, have you seen Weapons?
No.
Go see it, everybody. It's a fantastic horror flick, indie film, really well done. Gotta call that out. Love watching my horror films with my good buddies, Ash and Todd, my two best friends.
Nice. Well, our goal is to get the next episode out on October 5th. Robin picked, because he's a wuss and didn't want to pick some other more recent episode that's going to get a 2 or a 1.
We did like 3 in a row.
He picked Homer Goes to College from season 5.
Hell yes. Oh,
I almost
is this
guarantee
our final
you
episode?
it's going to be 4 or 5s across the board. No, this is not our final episode. What are you talking about?
Not ever, Josh. I was talking about this season. What's our final episode this season?
Our final episode this season is in March.
I mean, before we break for the holidays. Jesus.
Treehouse of Horror?
Oh, yeah. But okay, so then you have a season 8, and then we have a Treehouse of Horror, which we're debating on which one to do, but we'll figure it out.
You're debating.
But we did an 18, a 25, and a 30, these last 3. So we're going to end this segment of the season with a couple of 8s and a Treehouse of Horror. I think that'll be fun.
Robin, hit me with that sweet, sweet quote.
Pro tip, going over the belt saves time. Shaking, flushing, and hand washing are the real time killers here.
So until next time, folks, smell you later, true believers. GG.
Great, now I feel guilty. I stole his shoes.
Time in a bottle, man. Time in a bottle.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.